So many of these gardeners have this massive infrastructure of a bubbler, a spinner, a table with fans on it, and then they do it. I have my couch, the TV, a bucket, and a Ziploc bag.
Hey folks, just a quick note. We love making these videos for you, but what we love even more is getting out into the community and meeting farmers whenever they are trying to learn something. And that's exactly what we did last weekend at Bob Wells Nursery in Mineola, Texas, just down the road from our warehouse, where we hosted a 4-season growing and hoop house workshop. We invited our past guest, Michael Bell, to come be a part of it and give some advice on his growing, some succession planting, and then answer some questions from that audience. And we're going to share that with you today. We have a lot more workshop plans, especially for May and April of this year and leading into the rest of the year, with some very special announcements that we'll be able to give to you very shortly. Please make sure to catch those by subscribing to our email list, which is at the very bottom of our contact page at bootstrapfarmer.com. You can also follow us on Instagram and give a subscribe here, which we'll be posting all of those events. Now, Michael Bell.
Now we're going to talk about succession planting. I always like to bring a practicing farmer with us. I do feel like I'm a little removed these days. This cat does it every single day, earlier in the morning.
All right, so he told me to talk about succession, but I'm not. So no, I'm going to talk about it, but I want to talk a couple other things too real quick. First of all, I don't work for Bootstrap. I don't even really like Nick a whole lot. I just like their products. I love Bootstrap's products. I use them for every single thing that I use on my farm. So I'll go ahead and get succession out of the way real quick. Everybody know what succession planting is? Of course, he gives it to me because it's the hardest thing to try to explain using my finger. Huh? I did, and it was horrible. So in my mind, because I'm a market gardener, I'm trying to maximize space and time. Those are the two things I don't have enough of. I never have enough time, and I never have enough space. About me, I own Dallas Half Acre Farm. It's a 0.39 acre farm in Dallas, right off of Interstate 20. It's at the end of a residential street. They quit building lots. They quit building houses on these lots, and I bought one of the lots and put my farm on it. It doesn't have running water. It doesn't have electricity. So we won't get into all that. That's the whole session by itself. I also do farm consulting. So if there's anybody thinking about going from gardening to like actually farming, get a hold of me. I'd love to help you. I just love helping new farmers get started because I made so many mistakes. It cost me so much time and money. I don't want to see anybody go through that again. So that's my main purpose with the consulting part, is helping new farmers get started. We don't have enough of them. We have so much demand for locally grown produce, organic, that making money is the worst thing. Is the least of your worries. If you can grow it, I promise you can sell it. So you can go with it two ways. I always think of space. Space, and then how much space do I have, and how long does that crop take to get to maturity? So we'll use lettuce because I grow a whole lot of lettuce. That's my main crop. So from seed to the time I transplant is 30 days. Okay? At 30 days, 32 days, I go from the trays, which I'll show you in just a second, to the ground. From there, we're going to say on average it's another 30 days. During December, it's probably 45 because there's just no daylight hours. But we'll just say for this presentation is 30 days. So I don't count 60 days because I only got 30 days in my tray. I'm just doing 30 days in the ground. So then I want to divide up my space. So we'll say 50 feet. I have a 50-foot bed. Does everybody understand the difference between a bed and a row? No. Okay. I grow in beds. A bed is, most people say 30 inches, but I like bigger beds because I can grow more and I'm taller and I don't mind being uncomfortable. Does that make sense? Most people do 30-inch beds so they can straddle them like this. Plant, harvest, whatever. They don't have to go from side to side. I'm extremely greedy, so I do 36-inch beds, 40-inch beds, and I'm like this. It's uncomfortable, but if I can make an extra $20, that's fine with me. So anyway, that's a bed. Inside that bed, on a normal 30-inch bed, you grow 4 rows of lettuce. I grow 5 rows of lettuce on most of my beds because I'm at 36 or 38 inches. So everybody with me? That's the difference in bed and rows. Most market gardeners or small scale farming like what I do, everyone uses the bed system because it's a way more intensive grow, way more food, less water, less weeds. It's just a lot better system. So back to the 50-foot bed. I have a 50-foot bed. Without doing a whole lot of math, you want to divide that bed up into sections so that you can succession plant. So we'll just say 10-foot spot. So you have to figure out how many heads of lettuce can you fit in a 10-foot strip of that 50-foot bed. With me? So we're going to do, we'll call it 6 inches. We'll call it 40 heads in a 10-foot bed. That's not exactly right, but so we're going to do 40 of these size plugs in a 10-foot bed in a 10-foot strip. Okay, that's what they look like. These will go in the ground tomorrow, just to give you an idea. These are 30 days old. Now then, so I got 10 foot of my bed. I've got 40 feet of my bed left that has nothing in it, right? So as important as time and space is to me, I don't want to leave all that space empty. I'm not making any money, right? So what I'll do is if it's completely blank, I just cropped out tomatoes, for example. Nothing's there. I'll plant 10 feet of lettuce, but then I'll go all the way to the end of the bed where I won't plant for 5 weeks because remember we're planting every 7 days, and I'll plant radishes. Anybody know why I'm going to plant radishes? Because they're fast. So by the time I get here, I'm ready to harvest that crop. And if it's during the spring, summer, or fall, I can actually plant here too because that's only 3 weeks. Radishes are 21 to 24 days. Does that make sense? So from that point on, that's just the way you think, is space and time. I have 9 130-foot beds. That's my entire farm. 9 130-foot beds. So I'm constantly trying to figure out, I've got 50 feet down there. What can I plant? Like right now I'm having a little bit of a hard time because I've got some tomatoes that are ready and some that aren't. So what can I plant over there where my tomatoes are going to go in a month that are in my grow shed right now? So it's probably going to be lettuce, because lettuce is 30 days in the ground. Now, the hardest thing about succession to actually do after you figure it out is plant every week. Because you think, oh, I don't need to plant. I got all that in the shed. I don't need any. I'll do it tomorrow, then the next day. And you never do it. Well, if you're selling in 7 weeks when it's time to harvest what you're supposed to plant, you ain't got anything. So I plant Sunday evenings. My wife knows between 6 and 8 p.m. to watch Housewives or whatever stupid city is on. And she watches Housewives. The kids do whatever it is they do. And I go to my tough shed and I plant lettuce every Sunday night, 6 to 8. Turn on YouTube, Spotify, whatever, and just zone out. And then every week I have grow racks, 6 shelves, 3 lots per shelf. I've got 4 shelves. It's just constant. And you can see the succession. Week 1, week 2, 3, 4. These go out, they go to the farm, they get planted. Sliding 4 more trays in there at a time. My main goal is never have empty space in my beds. Even if I don't think I need that salad, the worst thing I can have for my farm is an empty bed because nothing's photosynthesizing nutrients from the earth, from the air to the ground. And that's what's key. Being organic, I have to always consider my soil health. Soil health is all about having a living root in the ground. My dad, he's 75 years old, smartest man I ever met in my life except for this one thing. We're not going to do anything this fall. We're going to let the ground rest. That's the worst thing you can do because all the organisms die. There's nothing feeding the soil. So that's the thing I always think of. During the late fall, when I'm waiting to get fall stuff in, it's still too hot, I'll plant buckwheat in an empty spot. It's fast growing, easy to kill. You plant it 3 weeks and it's knee high. Photosynthesizing, feeding that soil. So that's my spiel about succession planting. I was hoping I'd have one question. Oh, thank you, sir. So they're about 10 inches. The shelves 10 to 12 inches apart. But the kicker is I'll flip a tray. I'll flip one of these trays on the new ones when they first germinate. I'll flip them over and put that tray on top of this tray so that they're close to the light. And then after about a week, when they're up and they're a little bit stronger, take the tray out, and then they grow just fine. You want them as close to the light as possible that first week, because there's nothing worse than stringy, weak, bad word, lettuce. It just won't last. So I always like really strong seedlings on the lettuce. And if you can put any type of fan on low just to make them stronger, whipping around in the wind, it'll help your seedlings in the long run. So that's hardening off. So yes, especially in Texas, you might get away with it in 60, 70 degree weather, but we have like 4 days a year of 60 degree heat. So what I'll do is around day 25, 26, 27, it's not an exact science. I'll put them outside for an hour. Put them back inside. Day 2, couple hours. Day 3, and if it's crazy hot, 30 minutes the first day. Like it's lettuce. They're not very strong. They're not like tomatoes. If you do, and this happens a lot to the people that I work with, Mike, I have white stuff all over my leaves. Well, you sunburned your lettuce because you let them stay outside too long. Literally, your leaves got sunburned. No big deal. They won't die. Just bring them back in. Maybe go half as long tomorrow with them. After 4 or 5 days, though, they're good. Now, in Texas, so I grow lettuce salad mix almost 1st of July, middle of July. But that's because I do a couple of things. Who's interested in lettuce in the summer? Good, because I know what I'm talking about. So there's 3 things with lettuce in the summer. 1, variety. You cannot grow Bib lettuce in July. So you want to write down Muir, M-U-I-R. That's what this stuff is. You want to write down Red Cherokee, which is a red version of that. It's also got a green tint to it on the inner leaves, so it actually looks like 2 different varieties. So if you sell it, you're like, yeah, there's 3 varieties in there. It's really just 2. And then there's another variety called Starfighter. They're all 3 at Johnny's. I don't know, Osborne. They're very, very common. Speaking of lettuce seed, how many know about pelleted seeds? Okay, pelleted seeds are the greatest invention since sliced bread. And I sound like my father when I just realized that. So pelleted seed is a minor coating of chalk. I don't know. It's organic, don't worry. That makes it the size of a BB instead of the size of a grain of sand. Buy pelleted seeds every single time, unless you're just morally against it for some reason. They are worth the extra $3 a package. Carrot seeds, they also have pelleted carrot seeds. Worth the money, I swear to God. You'll thank me for the rest of your life once you try pelleted seeds. Yes. That's what you do with pelleted seeds. You can do that. Yeah, it's literally the size of a BB. And they're white, and that's dark. So it's easy. My 7-year-old actually does it. I hate carrots, and it's a running inside joke with Nick and Carrie because they're so hard to germinate. They don't do it on my time frame. They do it on theirs, and then when they get up, who grows carrots? A lot of carrots. So you know what I'm talking about. Like you get them up, they finally germinated, and then it's 84 degrees, and you forgot to water 5 minutes earlier, and they're all dead. I hate carrots. I hate them, but God, they can sell. They're easier to sell than tomatoes most of the time. So I suck it up with the carrots. Yes, ma'am. I haven't noticed a difference. They all suck. Like it doesn't add like 3 extra days to germination or anything, no. Because what happens if you want to try it, take a pelleted seed and put it in a little glass of water, and in 5 minutes the pellet's gone. So as soon as you water it, that chalk is gone from the seed. So it's not like a core, outer casing that the seed has to break through or anything. It literally dissolves in your hand. And if you have kids, like I was saying, my 7-year-old seeds all my seeds for me. I make the hole and she drops the seeds in there because she has fingers and I have not fingers. I don't know what you call these things, stubs. Yes, ma'am. I'm fighting with Johnny's over shipping right now because it's an absolute joke, the amount of money that they charge for shipping. And me and probably the CEO at this point have exchanged extremely unpleasant emails about shipping costs, but they're still the best. Like, customer service is second to none. They ship pretty quick. I just don't like paying $9 shipping for a $5 packet of seeds. And they're like, well, order $200. $200 will last me 7 months, and I'll lose half of it because I forgot where I put them. So, anyway, anything else? Yes. So all root crops are direct seeded. The quick stuff like spinach, a lot of people transplant spinach. It doesn't save you any time. The only way I would ever transplant spinach is if I did have no place to put it, but I knew I had to have spinach in X amount of days. Red Russian kale, direct seed. Chard, usually direct seed. I think that's it. Like, I do a lot of transplants because the amount of time that I can grow it in the field, I can grow it in the grow lights. They're better transplants. It's faster because I can run the last 18 hours a day instead of 9 hours in January. So I love transplants except for those 3 or 4 things. No, I'm an elementary PE teacher. I teach elementary PE. It's not cute. It's not adorable. It sucks. I hate it, but I'm like 5 years from retirement, so I'm not going to give up retirement paycheck for the rest of my life because I hate something for 5 years. But this is my full-time job in 5 years. So yeah. But no, he asked about the money. I could make $70,000 to $100,000 a year on my 4/10 of an acre property, without a doubt. The demand is insane. I know it's different because I'm in Dallas. I mean, I have more people to sell to. But I get emails, text messages every day from vendors at farmers markets to restaurants to chefs to grocery stores asking me to sell to them. And sorry, I don't. I sell direct to a customer, direct to people's houses. Every day I deliver to a different section of people. Like Sundays is my neighborhood. So I'd tell my daughter, here's the 20 bags of whatever I have. Go drop them off. She knows where they are. Monday is my school. Tuesday's another school. Wednesday, the admin building. Thursday's this dentist office that buys a lot of stuff. And Friday's another location. I tell people yes because it's the easiest way to describe it, but I don't take money up front. Most CSAs are like, pay me $1,000 for a year and you get what you get. I can't do that. I can't sleep at night knowing that I owe people stuff and they've already paid me. That's not fair. So I deliver to people what I have that week, and then they pay me, leave money under the mat, Venmo me, whatever it is. And I have 2 lists. I have week A, week B, some vegetarians, which if you're a farmer, you love vegetarians, that get delivered on both A and B week. They eat a lot, and then everyone else is every other week. So like I sell a bag of salad for $5, depending on who you are, $6. And well, I just went up. I'll say that. My prices just went up first of the year. I let my old customers keep their rate. New customers is the new rate. I sell a bag of salad, and then everything else that I grow is $3. So if you get radishes, they're $3 a piece. If I do beets, they're $3 for a bunch. Carrots, $3 a bunch. No, it's 8 to 10 ounces. It's a 1-gallon Ziploc bag. Yeah, it's a 1-gallon Ziploc bag. But the great thing is, it doesn't go bad. Like, I have people tell me all the time, especially the first couple of weeks they buy from me, Mike, my husband put the milk in front of the salad, and I thought it was all gone, and I found it 2 weeks later, it was still fresh. Yes, sir. I use Ziploc. I use Ziploc bags for my salad mix, and I've tried the U-line, and nobody really, and I said, let's see what happens when I don't use the U-line. And I use paper sacks because I have access to a lot of them for free, and no one said a word. So like if I deliver tomatoes, they're the same amount, but they come in a brown paper sack. No one complained. I have a feeling they take them out and put them in something of their own anyway. Now the Ziploc bag, it costs me about 3 to 4 cents more a bag to do it that way. But the customers just love it because they reach in, pull out what they want, rinse it off, zip it back up, and put it back in there. And it's easy for me to fill. I'm not twisting and tying, and like I said, these aren't fingers. Both. So she said, does it last longer because of the way I clean it or because it's fresh? Number one, because it's fresh. I harvest every single day. I deliver that afternoon. So you get lettuce that's less than 12 hours old. So that's number one, of course. The salad mix, I don't know if y'all probably do because you're in my world, but the salad mix at the grocery store is 10 days old before it goes on the store shelf. Because they had to pick it, package it, send it from California or Mexico, put it in the back of Walmart or Kroger, sits back there until they need it, and then they pull it out. It's at least 8 days old, usually 10 days old. Second thing was she said the way you clean it. And I try to tell everybody that I work with, don't clean it, especially if you grow in a tunnel, because it's not dirty. And it wasn't even a complaint, she thought it was funny, there's ladybugs in it. I'll get a picture and the lady said, I got a friend. Text back, at least you know it's organic. So when you, like she said, I don't know if you heard her, when you clean it, it gets wet. Well, that's what's at the bottom of your Kroger stuff is because it's wet, it's slimy because it didn't get dry. So many of these gardeners have this massive infrastructure of a bubbler, a spinner, a table with fans on it, and then they do it. I have my couch, the TV, a bucket, and a Ziploc bag. I'll watch the soup. My wife took this long video. I didn't know she did. Took a video of me packing salad mix, watching the Super Bowl with the salad mix in a big tub between my legs. That's the way I package salad mix. Yes, sir. Yes. Drip line on everything except root vegetables. Yeah, and that brings up a good point. And one thing about the tunnels. So in all the consulting that I do, they always say, what's my big cost going to be? Wash plant. Nope. You just need a water hose for like carrots and beets. Like you don't need a $10,000 wash plant. The first thing you should buy is a tunnel. And again, I don't work for Bootstrap. In fact, I don't even own Bootstrap tunnels because I bought mine before Bootstrap started selling them. I bought mine 8 years ago when Bootstrap just started. I wish to God I had them now because mine has issues that I can't fix. So when I expand and buy another lot or whatever, I'll definitely call Nick and be like, hey, remember that talk I did? But anyway, so the tunnels do so many things for you, whether you're a gardener, home gardener for your family, a homesteader, or to sell. It keeps stuff dry. That's the biggest thing, is it keeps things dry and clean. So if you're like, this is beautiful weather. However, if it comes to rain and you go out there after the rain, everything's dirty from the water splashing on top of it, wind. My salad mix is the most babied salad mix you can ever imagine in your life. Like lives the perfect life. If I was this lettuce plant, I would want me to be my farmer. Because I never have wind. I never get flooded. I get water when I need it. There's no bugs on me. Like it's just great. So, and then the other thing, and this is a humble brag, I'm one of the only farmers that sells tomatoes Christmas Day for Christmas dinner. I've had tomatoes every single year on Christmas Day for my customers for the last 4 years. And it's not because I'm a great farmer, it's because I have tunnels. And I know how to manipulate the temperature inside the tunnels so that the tomatoes continue to grow. Do I make money off of my tomatoes in December? No. Am I just that vain and arrogant that I just want to brag to everybody that I get to sell tomatoes on Christmas Day? Yes. Yes, that's it. And my customers are so thankful for that. They love fresh tomatoes. You eat tomatoes for 7 months, and then all of a sudden, Christmas dinner, you got to go buy aromas at the store. That's not very much fun. He asked, how do I heat to have tomatoes in December? Again, it goes back to keeping the tomatoes dry. A tomato will live okay. It won't be happy, but it probably won't die at 35, 34 degrees. It'll be fine. You'll have some tip burn and stuff, but the key is it's dry. That's what the tunnels do. Like a heavy frost will kill a lot of plants. A dry 30, a dry 29, they hate you, but they're alive and still producing. That's the difference in the tunnels. So I planted tomatoes this morning before I came out here. I planted tomatoes. Next Saturday night, there's a chance of like 38, 39 degrees. All I'll do is put another layer of plastic over my middle bed, shut the tunnels down. I won't even think twice. They'll be perfectly fine. So he said the tunnels add an extra 2 grow zones. Another layer of plastic does another one, adds another one to it. So like when I have tunnels plus another little tunnel, I'm basically growing in Mexico for that one day. So it's possible to do it, yeah. I won't do this because I'm Nick's friend, but I'd give the middle finger to whoever talked to me about zoning with the city of Dallas. Like, it's nonsense. I don't worry about them. No one bothers me. I don't ask questions. I'll ask for permission later. I'm at the very end of a busy street, a residential street. Nobody goes down. 95% of the people on that street don't even know I'm down there. They just know everyone. 4 o'clock in the morning, a gray Dodge drives down. At 6:45, the gray Dodge leaves. They don't even know I'm down there. There's nobody around me. It's a dead end. So, yeah. Now, if I was in the middle of the city with everyone driving by, I might have issues. But I haven't yet. I've been there 5 years. I could sell as much as I could ever grow, so I quit trying. Like, if I need new customers, I send out. Word of mouth is 10 times better than social media. Yes. If you're going to do it to make money, you got to learn to love it. But what's great about it is you do it laying in your bed in your underwear. Like, I swear to God, that's what I did. My wife likes to read. I was on Instagram doing hashtags. Like, I didn't get, not famous, but got known in Dallas because I hit the tag Dallas vegan. I'm not kidding. I was scrolling through there. I saw hashtag Dallas vegan. Click. 40,000 people in Dallas use Dallas vegan hashtag. And I didn't need to sell it. I was just curious. So I would follow them and I would type, hey, love your picture. Just some brand, whatever. Not kidding you. 70, 80% of the people would DM me the next day or two and be like, hey, I saw your profile. I love it. How do I buy your produce? Because there's no one in Dallas to buy organic produce for. There's just not. So I have a monopoly. I could sell $1 million a year. I guarantee it if I could just grow it and had the time to do it. But you got to use social media. It's 2023. You got to use it. And it's free. Like, it's not like we got to buy a Super Bowl commercial. Like, literally, it's free. And you can go down. I get you one second. Let me finish this one zip code. Did you know you can advertise by zip code? Anybody know that? So what's great about Instagram is you can get as detailed as you want on Instagram to the people you want to target. You can go, I want to target people that follow Martha Stewart, the Dallas Cowboys, and Dallas Vegan, and all those people will come up, and then it says, how much do you want to spend? $3 to $3,000, and then you just slide the thing over. You can do $87 a week, and it'll tell you in a big circle. There's 1,237 people that you can target at $87 that fit these 3 profiles. Like, just look up Instagram marketing. Yeah, it's the same company. I prefer Instagram, though, because it's pictures. And no offense, 90% of the people, 90% of the families are women buy the food for the family. No offense, women, I love y'all, but you buy with your eyes. If it's pretty, at least have your attention. If I'm topping out about my farm, I ain't got your attention on Facebook. But if I put a beautiful picture of lettuce, oh, that's pretty. What's this about? I got you. So Bootstrap Nick, do you still sell those grow lights? The really good ones? So Bootstrap has these grow lights, and they're LEDs. Who's back there that knows about them? Ruben, do you know about the grow lights? The 4-foot? Anyway, these 4-foot LED lights are way more powerful than a normal LED light. So for the first week, after they germinate, I put them underneath these 2 shelves that have these extremely strong grow lights. After they're strong and they look good, week to 10 days, I take them off and I put them underneath cheap 4-foot lights I got off of Amazon. The LED shop lights, I believe. They're Behringer. That's the brand. Whatever, show off. Yeah, like Barina. So I always use the lights to start with, the Bootstrap lights, because they're really strong. It gives the plant a good start. and then I move them to the cheaper lights because they just don't need that much strength after the first week. It's lettuce. Like again, you're not growing tomatoes. So the soil that I use is compost from my nursery. I'm so lucky and blessed that I have great compost at a nursery 2 miles from my farm. Go in there, get it, come back. I'm actually glad you said that. So people ask me about amendments and that kind of thing, what I put in my soil. I have good compost, I cover crop, and those are the two biggest things. I did not know this, but this nursery sells these worm castings. They're Magic Grow worm castings. I've been buying 1,000 pounds every January from Gary, the owner, down in Plantersville for the last 5 years. I would go down there, listen to him talk about worms for an hour, get my 1,000 pounds, come home, and that's my fertilization. You can't use too much. They're pure. If you want to know their test results, he gets them tested every year along with the other 9 manufacturers of worm castings in the United States, and he puts them in a binder and he shows them to you. And his is 10 times better in every single category that they test for than everybody else's, by far. That's it. That's all I use. I take that back. I will use cottonseed meal, which is 511 on my lettuce. I'll sprinkle it in there just because it's nitrogen. It's organic. I buy it off of Amazon in a 5-pound box, just to give it a little extra nitrogen, and so it's nice and strong. The worm castings, to give you an idea, I use a half a solo cup. I make the joke all the time. It's very scientific. Don't mess this up. It has to be a red solo cup. Use a half of one in the hole, put the plant in the hole, put another half a cup in there, cover it up, and forget about it for 3 or 4 months. Then you might give it some sort of mid-season fertilization. But that stuff is amazing. And all my seed starts are 2/3 cocoa coir, 1/3 worm castings. That's it. No vermiculite, no perlite, no any other light, nothing. It's cocoa coir and worm castings. That's how good those worm castings are. Super simple. You're not buying 5 bags of this and all that. I really prefer simplicity. Yes, ma'am. Yes, they go out, like I said at the very beginning, depending on how hot it is outside. Like today, it'd be out there a couple hours, then tomorrow 3 hours, and the next day, maybe the afternoon, and then the next day I'll plant. Yes, ma'am. No, everything's under the tunnels. Yeah, and that's, I decided to do that after my first season. I bought 1 tunnel. I did it. It was amazing. And I said, screw it. I'll just spend the money. Bought 3 tunnels, and it's the best decision I ever made. I cannot tell you how nice it is to work in the rain. Or 4:30 in the morning. I have my tunnel. I've got outdoor lighting strips you put on like a patio. Bought some extra bright bulbs. Turn them on, plug them into an inverter that hooks up to my pickup battery. And I work every morning from 4 to 6:45 in the morning at, pitch black. And I'm perfect in my tunnels. It's 30 degrees outside. I work inside. It's 40 degrees. It's just, if I get mad at my wife, I leave and go work in my tunnels. I'm pretty sure she's going to go in my tunnels one of these days when she gets mad at me, just because I always talk about how peaceful it is. I can't say enough about the tunnels, guys. Even if you're a home gardener, it sure is nice. And this is 4 season. I've only used 1 slide, Nick. I'm sorry. So this is 4 seasons. To give you an idea, and again, whether you're home gardening or selling, my best month I ever had selling was in January. I made more money in January than I made any other month of growing. And that was simply because every single square inch of my tunnel was full. I sold lettuce. I sold spring onions that overwintered. I sold carrots that I sold back in September. I sold kale. I sold collard greens. Every one of those vegetables you can grow in Texas winters. I mean, it was perfect. It's so nice. No bugs. I wish I could grow in winter year-round. If I could grow tomatoes in winter, I'd be the happiest guy alive. No bugs. It's not too hot. The plants don't get stressed. You may have to throw an extra row of plastic over a bed when it gets down to 9 degrees that one night that we get, or 2 nights or whatever. So if you're a backyard gardener and you think it's way over your head, it's not. You'll absolutely love it, especially if you're married. Sir? I use insect netting over each bed. Yeah, I just do it over each bed because, again, my tunnels aren't from Bootstrap, so I can't do the netting like they do it. Mine are pretty, I look at mine and I'm like, God, I'm in like 1850 right now with my tunnels compared to what they are now. They're so much more advanced than what I have. I have to bend down and grab the plastic and pull it up and wrap the rope around the pipe and get a 2-inch clamp. And like I see her roll upside and just want to tell Nick to shut up. Yes, ma'am. Anything big that you can't trellis. Like cucumbers, send them up. Tomatoes, send them up. I cut down an 18-foot tall tomato plant last year. But it was lean. Y'all know what lower and lean is? He mentioned it earlier. It was 18 foot. I don't pull anything out of the ground except root vegetables. Like I cut it all off at the ground, plant around it so that root ball can decompose, add organic matter, leave the worm castings in the ground from the soil block that I made. So I cut it all off. But to answer your question, anything big. I don't grow zucchini inside the tunnels. No, this is profit. This is for me being profitable, not feeding my family. Zucchini, squash, don't do anything, watermelons, cantaloupe. If it gets big and you can't run it up, don't waste the space. Somebody had a hand up. No. Anything else? Nick, did I talk about everything? Just a couple things before I leave. I will reiterate one more time. I love Gary to death. His worm castings are the best. He knows every single thing there is to know about a worm. So if you need fertilization, try that before you try anything else. These trays, if y'all don't use them, you're wasting your money because these are all that I use. And I've had some, I may have got a prototype. Like I've had these 4 or 5, 6 years and they look just like this except dirty. Like they're not cracked. I could throw it on the ground and I wouldn't worry one bit. I step on it, get mad, kick it, all kinds of stuff. Like guys, you can't break these. They're a little bit more expensive than what you pay, but they last you 10, 15, 20 years. I just bought a 1,000-gallon water tank and a 550-gallon water tank the last month, set them up, and I'm hauling water every day now. Don't tell my wife because she pays the water bill. So then I dumped that in the 250-gallon tote, pumped that to the 1,000-gallon tote and the 550 tote until those are full. And I'm hoping, if calculations, my math is right, April 15th, I'll have about 4,000 gallons worth of water stored. And then that should get me till it's 110 when I say peace out for vacation. I do 0.25, the drip tape is 0.25 gallons a hole per hour. So we can go back there and have fun and do some math if you want to. But it also depends on how hot it is. Like I don't water hardly at all right now. I water it in really good. That's the key when you do lettuce. Water it in really, really deep, good. Then don't, right now, since there's no wind hitting it, which causes your soil to dry out more than anything is the wind. I'm out of the wind. Sun's not evaporating a whole lot. Plus everything is real close together. So my lettuce is actually making shade for the root ball, so the sun never hits the soil. My soil temp is like 88, 89 degrees in 110 degree heat because I have so much shade from all the plants being so densely planted together. That's another great thing about 30-inch beds. More shade for the roots in the soil when it gets hot. Okay, I'm going to finish up on, whenever I speak, I always finish up on this. If you love the garden, please consider growing more and selling it. Don't give it away. You work too hard. You're going to give it away to your daughter, maybe. That's fine. But guys, you can make so much money selling this stuff. Like call me, I'll tell you how to do it. I'll help you. I'll help anybody that wants to get started. There's such a demand out there for it. He will help you. I don't like him a whole lot, like I said. But I've never met somebody that loves farming that's not a farmer and wants to help people farm. Like he just wants to make it easier on me. He always says, Mike, what do we need to help you? And like in general. And I tell him, and then he goes and tells Julian. He actually doesn't do anything. He just tells Julian what to build. So anyway, if you have questions, I'm on Instagram, Dallas Half Acre Farm. Feel free to DM me questions. If you need to set up a phone call, I can call you. I text all day because I teach PE and they're 5-year-olds, so they're pretty self-contained. So I'm always around the phone. I just want to help more of you become me and farm maybe even better than I do. Thank you.
He talks big, doesn't he? Look, that farmer network I talked about, that's the prime example of who we hang with. We're not gentle people. We're not, I don't know, we're a good time kind of thing. So I think that comes through. Is it okay if I give away some money real quick on some stuff? So there's 38 lines of people that bought tickets.